My people, I beg let me share this video. This video now for some of my brothers and sisters we don't know where they come from. Those people they say now we get Lagos, now we get Lagos. Come up for Lagos, you come up for Lagos, you come up for Lagos. Oba of Benin don't visit Lagos. For governor of Lagos State office, he tell him and everybody where they wake here to listen. He say Lagos State belong to Benin people. Say now Benin nine gets Lagos. So those of now we don't lost, we don't know where they come from. We need to go look for where we start from. Meanwhile, he can't say even Oba of Lagos. Now Oba of Lagos, no say him be Benin man, and he's not lying because Oba of Lagos go on to say him na Benin man. So those of now we don't know the waiting they sub. More na no carry the talk they disturb on herself. I beg, make me share this video for other people to see. You still talk some other things for this matter and leave your comment. Waiting you think. I'll go see you now for the next update. Thank you.
Lagos, where His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewuare II, was received by the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Sunday at the Lagos House in Marina. The traditional ruler, who is one of the most revered monarchs in Nigeria, congratulated the Lagos State Governor on his re-election and commended his giant strides, while charging him not to rest on his oars to achieve greater heights in his second term in office. The Oba also noted that the victory of President Bola Ahmed Tr0uble in the 2023 presidential poll showed that God ordained him to rule the country and called on all Nigerians to support his administration.
Your Excellency, we want to repeat again our congratulations to Mr. President. We are happy that it's all over now. It has gone to the end of the road. Whatever controversies or objections or whatever cannot go beyond that. But God has ordained that President Tr0uble will be the president, and we thank God for your also successful election.
About Tr0uble, I was privileged to be in the presence of his predecessor, Omonoba Ukwapolopolo, of Erediawa II, when I was much younger. Yeah, the first, Erediawa I, who he took over the position. But like you said earlier, Dr. Abati, I did listen to you. It's quite a significant visit because obviously it raises a lot of questions, and there's that significant link between the Benin people and the people of Lagos, and like you said, it's sort of a homecoming for him. But a lot of people have talked about the fact that the Oba's visit, saying that Tr0uble was ordained by God. I don't know if he might be in the position to talk about that. The Oba's visit also elicited other commentaries, one of which was that Lagos was built by the people of Benin, a statement that has generated controversy in Nigeria, both in the past and currently.
I don't want to mention something that will now drag me into the controversy of Benin and Lagos. But I cannot help but saying that at least it is in history books that Benin founded Lagos. But when some people will hear it now, they go haywire and say, what is the Oba saying there again? But it is true. Go and check out the records. Maybe not all over Lagos as we know it now, but certain area in Lagos, maybe the nucleus of Lagos was founded by ancestors. The Oba of Lagos will say so. I'm sure you know that he will always emphasize that he comes from Benin. Everybody knows. But the source of Lagos is Benin, whether any of you here he likes it or not.
Well, a little bit of history there, more history. I mean, it is the truth. A lot of people know this, but I mean, it's good that he's coming out again to say it. If you recall, during the election time, that whole story about Lagos is no man land. I think that, you know, his statement there puts a lot to rest in that regard.
This was what I said during the election time. That went viral. Let me quote what the Oba of Lagos said in an interview in 2017 that says from the Guardian that said Lagos Oba traces origin to Benin. They said, but last week in Lagos, the Oba said Lagos State is not part of Yoruba land. According to a statement from Iga Dugono, the palace of the Lagos Oba, Oba Akiolu was quoted as saying, I was told by my late maternal grandmother, who was a descendant of Oba of Vunware Egweasi, with facts from historical book, and let me share the knowledge with you. Modern-day Lagos was founded by Prince Ado, son of Oba of Benin. Prince Ado was the first Oba of Lagos, and it was then named the town Eko until the Portuguese explorer Rui de Segura changed the maritime town to Lagos, which at that time, from 1942, was a Portuguese expedition. So I think Dr. Abati has even stated the history. These were the things I talked about in a piece that a lot of people kept on. You see, even those that are claiming to be Lagosians, a lot of them are not Lagosians. Because of political expediency, they now start to claim Lagos. The true Lagosians know each other. So on that score, the Oba was right. And that's why we always read history. Because somebody took paper, you know, wrote articles abusing me and saying all sorts, just because I recounted the history that in the history book has been reiterated. And the Oba of Lagos reiterated that again. Yeah. The part that he said that is God, I know. Our political system gets our leaders. Let's not put God into this at all. I don't like when we put that narrative in. No, our political system throws up our leaders. So what are we going to say about the judgments? A lot of people have been complaining. Is it God that is in the Supreme Court? Is it God that is in the appeal court? Is it God that makes all those judgments? Yeah. Is he also God that put the clerical error in Kanu judgments? Let's just leave God out of our... Except Nigerians learn to understand that participation in the political process is what heralds leaders. And if you don't participate, if you continue to be indifferent, you get the kind of leaders you get. If you don't understand that, then the country doesn't move forward. Because even in the last election, Oji, I need to say this importantly as a wrap-up, that a lot of Nigerians are saying Nigerians came out to vote. Nigerians didn't come out to vote in these last elections. Let's not deceive ourselves. Voter apathy was still very high. For a country with over 80 to 90 million voters, less than 30 to 40 million people decided who was president. Right. Well, and that's still very low. Until we have something like other countries where you have over 65, 70% voters, we can't build this country. So stop being indifferent. Come out and make your voices heard. Right. That's all I'm going to say.
Rufai, you made a lot of points. And, you know, while I agree with you, the Oba, who, you know, is a monarch, is also a Nigerian citizen and has his own opinion. And, you know, if he says it's God that ordained Tr0uble, that is his opinion, right? Yeah. But also, Dr. Abati, I love the fact that the Lagos State governor took him to that Yoruba museum, and then, you know, they had that type of cultural interaction between the people of Benin and, you know, the people of Lagos. I think it's another feat for the Lagos State government. I mean, that museum is not fully open, but, you know, when it's open, it'll be a nice addition to the cultural landscape.
It's a very good thing, good optics.
Yes.
Knowing that the Oba himself, you know, is somebody who has a very strong interest in the preservation of culture and monuments and museums, you know, and retrieving stolen artifacts and giving our culture a pride of place. On the point that he made about Benin having founded Lagos, well, you know, when Mr. Feni was on the program, he said, look, at a time, the Benin Kingdom stretched all the way to the Republic of Benin, the great Benin Empire. It was an empire, just like the Oyo Empire in those days. And earlier on, I tried to give a bit of history, as told by the present Oba of Lagos himself, you know, about Prince Ado, who was the first king in 1630, you know, and then how there's that connection. And that's the point that the Oba of Benin was making. That, look, this is like coming home for him, more or less. But, you know, people are very emotional about history. One fellow I see has quickly written a piece about me saying I should not give a history lecture on Lagos. Well, I wasn't giving a history lecture. People should not project their own illiteracy. you know, because I found the reaction by the person, you know, very abusive. He said, oh, I said Prince Ado married Tr0uble Kuti. Where Tr0uble Kuti, he has correctly pointed out, is the daughter of Prince Ado, and truly the mother of Ologun Kutere, who later also became king. But people should learn not to be emotional, okay? When you say Lagos belongs to all of us, Lagos is the most cosmopolitan center, nobody is taking Lagos away from the Lagosians. You know, so I found the emotionalism of some characters who call themselves indigenous persons, you know, even when the Eleko himself does not react, you know, emotionally like that to bits of history. They should learn and try to speak like educated people. That's one. The point that the Oba of Benin made about, you know, Tr0uble being ordained by God. The Oba of Benin, kings, are also spiritual beings within their community. And, you know, the Benin's, their monarch is highly revered. It's not just the king, it's also the spiritual head. And it's also like, you know, some people from certain parts of the country, when anything happens for religious reasons, they say, oh, it is the will of God. I think it's in that context, you know, that the Oba of Benin was speaking, not in a political sense. So if he says, well, only what God wants happens, I don't think that that is a wrong thing to say. But other people who are not so religious, they have different views.
Absolutely.
So let all flowers bloom. Let all views flourish.